Hi everyone, my name is Shelby Wilkinson, and I'm going to be doing part 2 of Bella Martha and No Reservations. So first I just wanted to discuss the ideology behind Bella Martha a little bit. So there's a lot of cooking ideology all throughout Bella Martha. Martha likes a clean, controlled environment to cook in, as well as quiet. And Mario is the complete opposite. He is pretty untidy, to say the least, and he likes to cook in loud areas. He blasts opera music. And this is really apparent in the scene where Mario cooks in Martha's kitchen, and he leaves it super messy, and Martha has a panic attack pretty much. There's also a lot of ideology behind motherhood and guardianship throughout Bella Martha. I feel like in Bella Martha, Martha feels that regarding guardianship, she should only just do the best she can because this is only going to be the situation for a short time before she can find Lena's father. And I feel like there's also very much an emphasis on the right way versus the wrong way of parenting or motherhood or guardianship. She even says at one point that she didn't ask to be her mother, she didn't ask for this. But there is also a lot of personal ideology in Martha as well. She believes distance is good because she can control the relationships in her life and make sure that she can control her feelings for them the way she controls her kitchen or her cooking. And then the ideology in No Reservations. I find that a lot of the ideology in both films are almost the same, more like similar. But the first ideology in No Reservations that I wanted to talk about was cooking as well. Kate is very controlled, and she likes her workspace quiet, and it doesn't really go, No Reservations doesn't go into depth about how, clean she likes her space, but Nick, he's definitely more casual and relaxed. He likes to have a lot more fun and freedom in cooking. But he still does blast music while cooking. He is shown in many different scenes carrying a little boom box, playing music. And then another ideology is motherhood and guardianship again. The difference between No Reservations and Bella Martha and Kate is that Kate is in it for the long run. Kate's sister wrote a letter saying that if anything ever happened to her, she would want Kate to be Zoe's guardian, and she would want her to care for her as if she were her own child, pretty much. And I've also noticed that regarding motherhood and guardianship, Kate feels as if she needs to be all-knowing, like an all-knowing mother, like she should already be prepared for this. At one point, she, at the beginning of the film, she says to Leah, one of her cooks, that, oh, are you a mother already? And she goes, well, I need to practice while I still can. But, in my opinion, I'm not a mother or anything, but, I have heard that motherhood is just like a learning experience, like you just learn as you go. And then there's also personal ideology as well. Kate and Martha have a lot of similarities when it comes to their personal ideologies. They both feel as if distance is good so that they can control the feelings they have for people, just like they control their kitchens and their recipes and their cooking. But Kate also has a lot of rules. She often says, I don't normally do this or that, And she also says at one point she doesn't date. That's one of her rules. She doesn't date people in her building. And then I wanted to talk about the composition and image, because I've never really noticed the composition of the film. Like, I haven't paid attention to that in films, really. But then I noticed this was part of the presentation, so I was interested in learning more about it. So the composition and image in Bella Martha that I chose to depict was the scene where Martha is saying, "This is my kitchen. I worked really hard to get here." So the way I would want to explain this is, if you split the picture in half, or the image in half, you have Martha, who's obviously angry and irritated, and then you have Mario, who's just happy to be cooking with her. The shot is also shot at a lower angle, and it makes them look as if they're both equals. And then for the composition and image continued for No Reservations, this is the scene towards the end of the film where things are going really good. And what I liked about this shot in particular was that you can see the different relationships in each image. So on the top left, you see Nick, Kate, and Zoe all together, all three of them. But then if you cut the image in half, you just see Nick and Zoe. And I feel like this shows Zoe with a father figure that she never really got to have. So then if you cut it in half from, or in the middle, horizontal, there we go, you see the relationship between Kate and Nick. And then symbols. I found 2 different symbols. And in each movie, I think these are very relevant. So the first symbol that I noticed was the freezer. Martha, as well as Kate, kept going into the freezer. So, and I noticed this would happen whenever they wanted to cool down, like the heat of the kitchen was getting to be too much for them, or they just wanted to be alone. I think they found this as like their sanctuary. And then I also noticed that the term recipe, or even their food or their dishes, I think that could be a symbol for how Martha and Kate like to live their lives. It's step-by-step instructions. You can't go wrong. At one point, Martha says to Lena, "I wish I could just give you a recipe to follow," because she was having a really hard time with everything. But yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.